ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah. I am Jeesoon Hong. I'm adjunct faculty at the New School. I'm teaching East Asian literature, culture, and cinema. So, yeah, that's about it.
Thank you.
Great. So, what attracted you to the EC Fellowship?
Yeah, there are many factors actually, but among them I would say this year's theme, the prosperity and inequality, was particularly attractive because I wanted to explore the theme of female migrant workers in China for a long time, but I couldn't have a chance because I was doing Chinese literature and culture, so which was a bit different from that kind of theme. So it was kind of perfect opportunity for me to finally carry out my own research project. Yeah. And also, I would say also the ICI also provides a unique opportunity to explore the Asia as a region, a very alternative way of exploring too. So it's also that which attracted me.
What is this alternative way that you see that might be different at the Indochina Institute?
Right. The way I'm looking at it perhaps different from the EC people, perhaps their ideas. But my idea is that I want to really that as a person who was trained as an area studies specialist, so Chinese studies person, I wanted to go beyond that, the area studies. So I want to see something go beyond the area studies, which is based on knowledge about the region. So I thought India China is a kind of alternative which can, in a sense, overcome some restraints which area studies have. Yeah, but I don't know how I can do that, but the way I can do that is also to also look at theories as well as the knowledges about the region itself.
Can you describe a little bit about the collaboration that is happening now, through at least through the first residency?
Right. The first residency was, I would say in general, it was very interesting and successful because also we met many interesting and already accomplished fellows from both regions, China and India. And also for me also I'm doing the they call now the slum project, but we will change the title in the end. I guess something like a spatial deprivation and urban minorities. That kind of title will be our title. But for now, we just say the slum project. We are doing slum project, and then that will include the documentary project. We will give the video cameras to two young female migrant workers, program is the slum residents in Mumbai and Beijing, and then they will record their lives themselves. Which this way is already explored by Jenny himself a long time ago and other directors too. And then we will do that. At the same time in Mumbai and Beijing. That will be interesting to see at both regions response. That will be our project.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. What can you say a few words about your impressions of having encountered India fellows and in China fellows, and what were your first impressions, and how does the conversation began and sort of transform itself through the 2-week residency?
Right. I had also a chance to spend some time with the first cohort of fellows last summer in Shanghai, and then this time also with the second cohort of fellows. And I found that they are also very different. The first cohort and the second fellow, these two groups are very different too. And also, of course, the scholars from China and also India, they are also very different. They have also very strong characters themselves, because they are already the accomplished individuals in their own areas. So they have very strong characters, especially if I can generalize. Many people do that. I can generalize, I mean, usually the Indian fellows speak uh, more than the Chinese scholars do. So that's also interesting. But this time, I mean, the second cohort, I mean, we have also very talkative, Chinese fellows too, so which was also very interesting. And also, the group is also very interesting because we also include the activists and also scholars from Beijing, and so that we have interesting discussions. I mean, it was very natural to start the discussions about politics and environment and also women and all those. I mean, especially, but now the issue of gender is rather weak in our discussion, but we will, I mean, bring it into our discussion more because also, I mean, the new school part we have 4 women, so it will be also interesting to talk about the gender issues within our groups too.
So you find that conversations between people of different disciplines and experience pretty easygoing?
I wouldn't say it's easy because also, I mean, we have also the documentary director, and also I'm doing cultural studies, and many people are doing economics and politics, and we are policymakers we have, and we have all different mindsets. And when we talk, I mean, we are talking sometimes totally different things. But still, as long as we are open to each other, and also as long as we are willing to learn something from others, then we can talk still. I mean, but of course, after discussion, we'll go back home and I don't agree with him, and then I don't agree with her, and we will have that still in our mind, but still we can learn something from others. In that sense, we can talk, but I mean, I don't think we can really agree that much. I mean, my opinion. So,
what are some of the things that you find more challenging in the conversations between Indian fellows, China fellows, or even New School fellows?
Right. What I really don't want to do is that the generalizing the countries, but because we are very in the early stage of our conversation, we of course, I mean, we have to begin with its generalized ideas about each country. But I just hope we don't repeat that again and again. Like, I mean, India is like that, or China is like that. I mean, that's not, I mean, personally, it's not my aim or the way I approach these countries. I mean, I'm not interested in what China is like itself or what India is like. I mean, it's not my kind of the object of research. So what I'm interested in is how, for example, how capital flows and how it affects the labor traffic, and also how it affects people's lives and culture, and the kind of approach I'm interested in, rather than just, I mean, the country as the object of knowledge. So that's what I'm trying to kind of overcome. I mean, I hope it happens. I mean, because it's the beginning, we are trying to also China is like that and India is like that, and then we are doing that again and again. And but I hope we move from that and to some other kind of.
So for now, you feel like it's still in the beginning stage where people tend to say particularly generalized observations about their own countries or someone else's countries.
In a sense, I would just say yes, but I mean, but also we are seeing some changes within that discussion too. But I mean, I hope we can move forward from that. Yeah.
Can you say a little bit more about New School's role as a faculty here at the New School? What do you see is New School's contribution to this conversation?
Right. I mean, I also found, I mean, this time we have 5 New School fellows. I mean, it was very interesting because, I mean, because as I mentioned, the first cohort of fellows, they also have very strong characters. And then it's very nice, some people who mediate these 2 groups. And also it has some different kinds of input. For example, in terms of academic tradition, also China has its own academic tradition, and India developed its own academic tradition, and they, in a sense, share some similar kinds of mindset, but the fellows from the new school, perhaps they have experience on both, but and also they have experience in the States, and they are kind of distancing themselves from both countries, India and China. So it gives kind of, in a sense, I feel, I mean, neutral ground for negotiating. So that's kind of the role, perhaps, for the new school fellows too, rather than the subject of these countries. So we, perhaps the new school fellows can provide some, also when we have a hot discussion, which we really enjoy as well. I mean that kind of really the heated discussions. Then we can also talk about something from, in a sense, outside too. So it's, I mean, it was very, I mean, interesting, and then having the new school fellows were also very exciting too.
In terms of your own personal, professional experience, how do you see the fellowship take you in the long run?
Right. I've been working on Chinese literature and culture for a very long time, and then after that, after graduation, after PhD, I moved to East Asian studies, East Asian urban culture and literature, and then I found that the India-China will open up for me to open up the possibility of looking at Asia from the wider angle, perhaps. I mean, because I was looking at East Asia, just East Asia, and then because, I mean, when we also start to look at not the nation, just the nation, but also the region, it brings up more complexity to the issues. For example, when I started to look at East Asia as a whole, I almost just stopped the viewpoint of, like the binary viewpoint of tradition and modernity, or the Western impact of Eastern modernity. So Eastern modernization was kind of the result of the impact of the West, I mean, which the scholars have been criticizing for a long time, but still we are still in that trap in a sense. So, but when we look at East Asia as a region, I started to see that it really, it's more complicated than that, because interrelations within the region makes what the 20th century history changes, as well as the Western influence. So that's also what I was really interested in looking at. And I think India-China, when we look at India-China, then we will see more this kind of the ideas. And then, yeah, then I think it will be more interesting, so to open up the region as a whole as well. I've been interested in Asia for long, so it will be also a great opportunity for me to explore the wider region and wider issues too.
What are your plans to go to do what you're going to do in India?
Right.
I assume you're already planning a trip to India, right?
Yeah, I'm going to Mumbai. I guess, I mean, Mumbai, definitely I'm going to Mumbai. And then there, perhaps I will travel some parts, especially where the fellows live in, because then they will be, they can, in a sense, I guess, I mean, they promise that, and I will promise that too. But they will, I mean, accommodate me, or they welcome me, I guess. So then I will travel to their regions, I mean, to see them again, and then it will be great, I mean, to see them in their own home and in their own institutions. Then it will be also very interesting experience. I'm looking forward to. So perhaps, I mean, Darjeeling and then some other parts where the fellows live in, I will go. Definitely Mumbai, and then slum in Mumbai. Yeah.
Do you have anything you want to add about what you've done so far and what you hope to do?
Right. I have done really the as I said, the cultural studies of Asia, and then what I'm hoping to do is that by including the question of Asia, I want to develop the theory of modernity to a different dimension. So that's also, I'm always interested in theories. So I want to develop theories by examining the question of Asia. So not the other way around. What I'm saying is I'm not trying to see Asia from a certain fixed theoretical frame, but I want to change theories by including Asia in my the research. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping to do.
That's great.
That's finished?
Yeah. Did you
Good.
have anything else you want to add? Do so, please. I mean, but otherwise it's great.
Yeah, it is. Then I mean, but if you want to redo some part, then I can do
No,
that.
I think, I mean, there was nothing that seemed unnatural or anything.
Right.
So I don't,
But
unless you feel like you want to say something a little bit different, go ahead, but.
it will be almost same, so I didn't do
Yeah,
that.
I think so too.
Right, yeah. So then, yeah, I mean, it's fine. And also, I mean, you don't need to include all of them. You can just edit it.
No,
So,
no.
yes.
No, not the whole
It's,
thing.
yeah. Good. Yeah.
Okay. All right.